This is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runners Alley. We are joined today with the State Running Network. Few states in representation today. All of us powered by Runners Alley, Marathon Sports, and Sound Running. We have our girls race in front of us. Boys just finished up, and it was a pretty fun race to watch. Expect the same from the girls. Taking a look at teams for girls. We've got Connecticut with Glastonbury, Maine, Bonnie Eagle. New Hampshire's top team is Hanover, Rhode Island, East Greenwich, and Vermont Champlain Valley. So we'll hear a little bit more about that, but before we do, we should take a look at some of our individuals, and then we can talk specifics with it. Looking at Maine, starting with Maine, because we want to start with Ruth White of Orono. Phenomenal race last year, expects more of the same this year, see how that goes. Maine also has Carly Drake of York, Addie of Bonnie Eagle, Amelia of Mount Desert, and then Ewings of Holton / GHCA. Vermont, we've got Alice of Champlain Valley, Scarlett of Essex, Tess of Mount Mansfield, Estella of Champlain Valley. New Hampshire, we have Brianna Malone of Portsmouth Christian, Haley Kavanaugh, Oyster River, Fiona Lee, Bedford, Sheldon Fisher of Co-Brown as well. And then taking things south side of Massachusetts, we'll take a look at Connecticut first and then move on to Rhode Island. So who are we looking at from Connecticut?
Oh, you gotta love Brooke Strauss. This is a girl who hasn't hurt most of the season, and she came back, ran okay at the class meet, and then was a surprise state open winner. So we're looking for Strauss to be one of the top girls. Catherine Marchand from Trumbull was a 10:36 2-mile last spring. She came into the open as a top seed, but she finished second. And you got a freshman, first-year runner, played soccer last year. She was third in Connecticut State Open from Lyme, Old Lyme, Chase Gilbert. Those are three of your top girls. But don't forget about Sydney Kelleher. She was 11th last year at New England's. She was had the second fastest time in her state meets, but she fell back a little bit. She had some heat problems last week, but she should be in the mix of things today.
And the home state, Rhode Island, what are we looking at?
So one runner we're not going to see is Moses Brown, Sophia Goria-Ron, who won the state title last week. She's actually, I think, at the track right now doing a track workout. So she's preparing for the track season. But we do have LaSalle's Caroline Cummings, who was second last week, has done 18:22 on this race to win the class meet. There's also Reese Faze of East Greenwich. I'm not sure exactly what kind of shape Reese is in. Reese is not the Reese we saw last year, where she broke 18 minutes 5 times. This year, I think her best is 18:30, 18:35. Ran into a little bit of dehydration last week and ended up finishing 5th or 6th at the state meet after being in second with 550 meters to go. So I don't know, depending on what race she runs, if we see Reese out in front, then you know she's ready to go. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to do. Then there's St. Ray's Rory Sullivan, a 3-time first-team All-Stater. She's capable of a time in the 1840 range.
So you're thinking low 1830s or below will probably win. Anybody breaking 18 minutes you thinking today on this course? It's feeling pretty warm.
You know, I was talking to Derek Ballou of Mile Split in Maine, and I think he thinks she can break 18 minutes. White can break 18 minutes.
Well, she had a huge lead last year the whole way, so I've never seen anybody dominate the New England meet like that since the great Liz Mueller back in the early 90s. She just was another level last year, and she looks to be running about the same. So.
Yeah, and I can't see any, at least in Rhode Island, I mean, Caroline Cummings, I can see her maybe doing low 18s. She's got 2:11, 800 speed too. This is only her second year cross country, so, and she'll run with the lead pack. But if they take off, I can't see it.
So what are the teams looking like in Rhode Island?
We have East Greenwich, which was the state champ last year, and Cumberland, which was the runner-up. Those are our top entries from Rhode Island. Again, East Greenwich, they could finish among the top 5. I can't see them winning today, but if everybody runs well, they could do well. You know, you got Reese Faze, and you also got Riley Shunny, who's done under 18 last year.
Here we go.
And we also have
2022 Girls New England Championship.
Champlain Valley too. We gotta be looking at too. They were third in the Dystat region. We have Glastonbury from Connecticut. They were state open champs, and they won here on this course. They've already run this course. So we're gonna see with those two teams. They should be battling out for the lead. And look at the pack just falling into one little area, try to get the inside.
Brianna Malone, New Hampshire, up in front where she wants to be. She's going to be one of those top runners as well as we move on.
All right, it looks like Carrie Drake of York High School, the Class B champion in Maine, has got the early lead here. It's coming through.
Going out pretty hard here. Got 10 meters already.
There's Marcia.
Brianna Marshall up there. There's the defending champion, Ruth White. She's working her way up on the outside.
I got stuck back there a little bit.
White was kind of in back there a little bit. She must have had a bad start. She's working her way up though.
She's still very early here. This group will spread out here over the next 800. We'll have a better idea when they come through next time. Early. Ooh, look at that. Couple reps of Maine right there.
It does seem somewhat tactical. Doesn't seem like it's overly fast at this point. I know it's early.
Carly Drake of Maine, Ruth White right there. We saw Brianna Malone of New Hampshire up there as well. Those are top 3, top 4.
And Caroline Cummings and Reese Faze right there among the top 7. And a swarm of other runners.
Yeah, real early. Too early to start figuring out team at this point. But kind of similar to what we saw in the guys' race. You know, a little bit more separation up front, just a little bit this early on.
Still an important part of the race because a lot can happen if you get stuck behind right from the beginning, not only psychologically but physically too. So I mean, it's
absolutely. All right, we'll see how they're looking on the field.
Ruth White, the defending champion out of Orono, Maine.
So big move over this first little loop of the field.
Yeah, she must have slipped a little bit there. That happens across country, but she's reestablished herself. Let's see if she can do the same thing she did last year and just run away with it. That's what she's doing now.
It looks like now she's in the lead. She is going for the finish line now.
White hasn't lost all year, but she also hasn't really been pushed all year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here today.
That looks like Marchand from Trumbull in second place, the 10:36 2-mile on the track. This is her first season across country. She's going for it.
Sal is up there, Amelia Van Goghen of MDI.
Got Malone of New Hampshire in 4th, I believe.
Brooke Strauss is the Connecticut State Open champ. She's settling back in about 12th place right now. She's going to be a little conservative. She doesn't have the fitness, but she was hurt at the beginning of the season, so she's trying to make this a 4,000-meter race instead of a 5,000-meter race.
Looks like Bonnie Eagle of Maine, who was the runner-up last year, has got off to a tough start here. They're kind of buried here, so it'll be interesting to see if they can move up.
Well, we're only under 4 minutes into the race, so there's a long way to move up right now. What an outstanding field of runners we have all the way in through here. These are girls who are all conference probably back to their hometowns, but against a field like this, you see them, it feels like they're so far back, but they're really good runners.
This is where you get some real competition.
Everybody thinks they're in last place, but there's so many people in front of them.
To the mile, we do have Ruth White of Orono, last year's champion. She's looking real good, real strong at this point.
Yeah, she's really pushing the pace. She has, I don't know, that's going to be a 6, 7, maybe 8-second lead at this point.
Yeah, about 30 meters on Brianna Malone of Portsmouth Christian, New Hampshire.
And there in 4th place, Reese Faze and Caroline Cummings right with us. So in those 4th and 5th place positions, that's actually very good for them too.
Again, we're right near that mile mark, give you a good indicator of how they're doing.
And that's Kylie DeFusco of Cumberland, only a sophomore last year as a freshman, 6th place in the state meet.
Champlain Valley with a couple in right there. Again, starting to see a little bit more separation now. Starting to get a better idea of a team picture.
But White really looks strong.
Oh, yeah.
I think, I don't know, the course record, I believe, is 17:29, 17:28. I wish I knew the pace at that mile mark, but she seemed like she's going at course record pace the way she was running at this point.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the teams we had, I think Glastonbury, Connecticut right now, from what I race saw, they look like they're leading it. They probably have their 5, you know, in the top 20, 30, 40 or so. Champlain Valley, always a strong team. They're definitely in the mix at this point. Cumberland, Rhode Island, they know this course. They're probably still in the mix as well. We've got E.O. Smith of Connecticut up there for teams. Same with Ridgefield, Connecticut, New Milford, Connecticut, also in that mix there. We'll see how things continue to shake out throughout the course, but you know, right now, that's just an incredible lead up front.
Well, yeah, was there any clear-cut favorite as far as team? I know White was pretty much the favorite that we figured individually.
Right.
I think in the team, I think it's mixed.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I read some names off there. I think they're going to continue to kind of keep shuffling around, but we'll continue to see how things progress as they head into the woods from where we are. So we'll go ahead and see how things are going a little bit further down.
There she is. Here comes Ruth, just like last year, ripping like you would not believe. I don't even want to think about what we're looking at for a lead here. Brianna Malone in second, but that's got to be 60 meters that we're looking at. And here come the rest. Looking at, we got LaSalle. Portland, New Milford. There's Sheldon Fisher, Cole Brown. Bonnie Eagles #1. Cumberland, Ridgefield. I must have missed the Oyster River duo. They used to be side by side. There we go with Winnicott. There goes Dover. As you can tell, it's loud. There's Hessler right there, Addie Hessler from Bonnie Eagle. Bonnie Eagle has a good grouping of girls in there. That's either their 5th or their 6th. Couple of Bedford girls ripping through. And we're going to take it to the 2 mile.
Okay, you can hear from the crowd. We're getting close to the leader of the New England Championships.
Here comes Ruth.
We're just past the 2 mile mark. If you look at the distance, the 3rd flag in front of us is the Connecticut
She's right
flag.
there. That's the 2 mile.
That's the 2 mile mark. She's unofficially around 11:13 through 2 miles approximately. But you can't keep a good woman down. She fell at the, she must have fallen or something like that. And she's looking fantastic right here.
She's just stroking it. It's like unbelievable out there.
What do we say, 11:17 the 2 mile approximately?
I think you said 11:13
11:13.
And we can see Brianna Malone coming up in the distance.
You got good eyes.
She's got at least 100 meters on Brianna.
Oh, more than that now.
That's New Hampshire's MOC champion.
About 30 seconds behind here. That's how dominating Ruth White is. Here's a New Hampshire champion. What a great day
Brianna
she's
Malone,
having.
Portsmouth Christian, Division 3.
And it looks like Katie Marchand and Alexis Chacon from Trumbull, and the red and white is from Cheshire. These are 2 of the Connecticut top runners here. I don't know who the 4th one is.
No, nor do I.
Here we go.
Sheldon
We got Kate
Fisher,
Folke
Cole Brown.
there. We're still, and there's Brooke Strauss, the Connecticut State Open champion.
There's one of the
she runs from
Oyster River
behind.
girls. Bonnie Eagle's #1. Bonnie Eagle had a pretty good grouping.
There's Ridgefield's #1. Ridgefield should be up there. And here's the Rebels
Champlain Valley.
#1. There's Fairfield's #1. They were 3rd in Connecticut State Open.
I think that's Champlain Valley's 1st. Here's their 2nd. They tend to group real well.
We just passed a couple E.O. Smith girls. They were 4th in Connecticut State Open as a team.
Leah Perard
and here's the
of
State
Hanover.
Open runner-ups, Milford for Connecticut. And here's #2 for New Fairfield, a 3rd place team. So we're looking
Fiona
like
Leah Bedford.
we got some teams
Ellie,
in the mix of things.
Plymouth. If I just said Ellie, it was Addie. It's sister
There's another Glastonbury
Maya
runner that just
Brochu
passed
of Bow. Ball Mountain's freshman phenom. There's another Bonnie Eagle.
We got our 3rd, 4th New Fairfield runner we just went by. They're looking pretty good
Lena
today.
Hagen of
Here's our
Newmarket.
4th New Fairfield runner. They're looking pretty good.
Bonnie Eagle and Pinkerton out of New Hampshire.
Gotta love the Granite State.
more grouping of Bedford and Hanover girls.
I expect to see a tighter group from Glastonbury at this point. They're kind of running sporadic, like one at a time.
Yeah.
They usually run together. Here's another
CVU,
Glastonbury.
Champaign Valley, one of our top teams to watch for sure.
Yeah, CVU, they were ranked in DISTAT region.
Yep.
That's incredible. They're the only team from New England that are ranked in DISTAT Northeast region. That includes New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and all New England. Here we have the 4th, 5th, and 6s of a lot of really
Yes,
good
we
teams
do.
right here. You have to be in the top 6 in your entire state to make New England's. Some of these girls they're all conference maybe. And they feel, it's like they're not used to running around this many girls.
Exactly. Not lots of times they end up in the upper part of a grouping and stuff like that. And here everybody's as good as you are, and so it's sometimes a surprise for those kids.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But what they need to do is they need to stay focused.
Yeah.
They really, that's the hardest thing. You feel like there's so many people around you. You feel like you're in last place, but you're not. You're running great. And in cross country, you really can't rely upon splits on your watch.
No, I mean
you
it's
can try,
places for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to go about it. Any course, but even this course especially, not to worry about exactly where you're running, but see what you can do about passing people. You pass one, you might think you're only passing one person at a time, but every second. I know they've said in the past, like in a small compression, 2-minute time period at the finish line.
Oh, it's a runner every second.
There's
at
three,
least.
3 every second
Yeah.
in some cases. So kind of crazy how that can play off.
Yeah, some of these runners right here can pass 4 or 5 girls, and as a matter of fact, Hall, I believe, just won by just a few points on the boys' side.
Yeah.
So each of their runners really mattered.
We happened to be, when I finished up with the camera work and came out back to the course, we ended up right where they were. And when they found out that they had won, they were pretty ecstatic. It was kind of a neat feeling.
Yeah.
Going from a slow growl right up to a full-blown roar.
They have like 140 boys, over 140 boys in their program. Each one is special to their coach.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have like
that's
5
crazy.
outstanding coaches on their staff, and
Yeah.
they make it personalized.
140, huh?
Yeah.
I wish I had 14.
That's bigger than
Yeah.
some schools.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But it goes down to 7. Their coach
Yeah.
said cross country is the hardest sport to win. You can only put 7 in line.
Right,
5
right.
have to run great.
Yep.
And it looks like the 5 ran great today.
Yeah.
These
I
are
mean-
these are the 6th and 7th runners on the teams.
Yeah.
Got a Connecticut girl. It's like a Maine girl there, and they still got a few more. We're right about 8-minute pace right around here.
There she comes, the junior from Orono, Maine, the defending champion, on her way to a repeat here. Ruth White.
Just over 14 minutes, right at the 4K mark. The mat at the bottom of the screen is the 4K mark.
1K to go for White. She is on her way. She looks great. Her gap is widened significantly.
Yeah, her stride still looks beautiful. She is cruising.
There's not even a girl in sight yet, believe it or not.
She's gonna have, looks like 30 to 45 seconds over second.
Could be one of the biggest winning margins in New England history, potentially. We'll see. Here comes some girls. We see some runners action coming up here at the top. We'll see who's second.
That looks like Brianna Malone.
Brianna Malone.
Portsmouth Christian from New Hampshire.
She looks strong here.
She's got some company though. Definitely not out of reach over this last K.
So these girls all battling for all New England honors.
Come on, Katie!
It's like Cheshire and Trumbull.
Here's Amelia Van Doggen out of MDI. She was the Class B runner-up. We'll look for the team. There's a Co Brown. York, it's Carrie Drake. There's Addie Tebow with Bunny Eagle. She's worked her way up. They were the team runner-up last year. Let's see.
Yeah, pretty split on the team side. And not really any
No.
any groups going by.
There's a Glastonbury here. There came in the favorites potentially here. There's Champlain Valley. This is really spread out. There's a second Glastonbury.
Yeah, this is really mixed up.
There's a second Champlain Valley.
There's another
Third Glastonbury. So, as we expected, Glastonbury looks to be the team.
There's 3 for Champlain Valley
4 for Glastonbury.
and 4 for Champlain Valley.
So,
And there's
the
5
fifth.
for Champlain
Valley, no stranger to winning New England titles. They've had a storied career here.
And there's the 5 for Glastonbury.
So a lot can change over the final kilometer, but it looks like Glastonbury and Champaign Valley have separated team-wise. We know Ruth White is on her way to victory, but those other spots still up for grabs.
Yeah, that should be an interesting fight over the last K. Really, either team, I think Champlain Valley might have a slight lead, but you know, as we saw in the boys' race, there was a lot of shifting around in that last 1,000 meters.
If you left something in the tank for the last K, you can certainly pick up people who might have pressed it a little too early. So, as you said, like the boys' race, there was a lot of movement. Like what happened in the girls' race as well.
Yeah, this is nice, flat, fast last kilometer. So if you got anything left in your legs, you know, you can pick up a pretty good number of people in front of you.
Yeah, the temperatures here today, unbelievable for a late November New England, day. We're in the 70s.
Yeah, we got all the spectators running around in shorts and t-shirts. It was pretty good for middle of November.
All these girls had to qualify as teams or individuals, being the best in their state. The opportunity to run here, an experience they won't forget, most likely. Some states like Maine have had 2 weeks off in between. You can kind of see that affecting some of the runners out here that were maybe a little flat today, having that 2 week off break. But still an honor to come and represent the school at the New England Championship, regardless.
Yeah, this is always just such an exciting event to spectate, to run in.
The best of the best, as they like to say. Here. This course is held up very well here today. A steady rain overnight and the early morning, but
Well, it still looks pretty good, even after a couple hundred boys ran through here earlier. Yeah, this course is very well maintained.
absolutely. Ruth White, Orono, Maine. Champion last year, champion again. She's on the final stretch. All alone. Saw a huge lead at that 4K, and that just continues. She is powering down this straightaway.
And it does look like she's going to break 18 minutes. We're at 17:45 right now, and she's just about at the finish.
2022 New England champion, Ruth White.
So just about 17:52 unofficially. A great race for Ruth White.
And we can see just how much of a lead she did have at that 4K and beyond. Absolutely impressive run from her. Same thing could be said about Breon Malone, now in view. She's got this straightaway to herself.
Runners are now making their way to
The wind is really picking up, but it looks like it's a tailwind.
They got a tailwind right now. Again, Breon Malone, Portsmouth Christian, taking second. She's from New Hampshire. Nice looking run from her too. And we're starting to get a little bit closer now. Bit of a battle going on for third.
Yeah, they are starting to come in and starting to come in fast. This is Reese Faze, the two-time Rhode Island State champion. It's like 18:57 for Reese. She's the top Rhode Islander.
Yeah, we saw Tess Drury of Mount Mansfield, Vermont, taking that third spot. Catherine Marchand in fourth.
Already come in. Rory Sullivan from St. Rayfield Academy.
race. You know, everyone's got someone right now that they can race about, and it just shows you up front how impressive it was. But here we go. We get to start thinking team battle. And we see some races all the way to the finish. That can definitely make a difference when it goes down to those team scores.
Individually, it's definitely spread out as we're coming down here the final stretch.
Great job. Keep moving.
There's Cumberland's Kylie DeFusco, the sophomore from Cumberland. Not sure how their team's doing, but I believe she's the first finisher.
Yeah, Champlain Valley just had one across. I think they're one of those top teams, definitely in that hunt here. Saw that at the 1 mile as well, that they are a legit team to beat, as we've got another one coming through from them as well. Glastonbury, Bonnie
they were
Eagle.
leading at the midway point in Champlain Valley, so looks like they kept that lead.
Yeah, nothing solidified just yet. Still plenty of race left to go, but Champlain Valley does have 5 runners across the line. We know that definitely bodes in their favor. That means this is their number 6, which means they're looking to displace some other teams as they finish. Or no.
It's Grace Carr of Cumberland.
Cumberland, the Hawks coming through. Edie Smith, Ridgefield. Good little cluster here, everyone fighting for those individual spots.
That tailwind's going to really come in handy for these runners who are really working hard out there and now have the tailwind pushing through.
And that wind is picking up a little bit too as the day progresses. I'd say it's a little bit more significant than what we saw in the boys' race earlier. But yeah, a lot of these girls finishing up their season right here. Some looking to extend it a little bit more. And what a great way to finish it up. You know, it's pretty warm, almost too warm for cross country. That breeze has got to be nice though.
Usually this meet I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a jacket and long pants. Today short pants.
Come on, go. This way. Come on, keep walking. You back up. Keep moving.
Here we go. A couple more kick battles. Finish out the season. Out Bonnie Eagle.
You gotta love chip timing, right? Makes things smooth as they come across that line.
So, again, we saw Champlain Valley had their 5 across. Glastonbury, I think they're still up there. I think they made this pretty close. If taking a look at jerseys, math is correct. It could be very close between those two. Too early to tell at this point.
Hey, that's it. Go. Keep moving. Go. That's it. Go.
But I think Glastonbury might have done enough to take it over Champlain Valley. We'll see as more teams kind of get their 4th, 5th runners across and they enter that team scoring mix.
Keep moving, boys.
So a possible Connecticut sweep for team titles.
Athlete Breeze.
Come on, Cumberland. Come on.
Definitely could be.
You don't want you to get run over.
Tonya
Come on, girls, go.
Breeze
Come on,
reporting.
Connecticut, typically a pretty big powerhouse when it comes to New England's for cross country.
And you know they train they run at Wickham Park, which is a really tough course. So something like this probably seems like a track for them.
Yeah, and again, course conditions today definitely better than what we could have expected with the weather the last 24 hours. Tropical storm coming through. You know, most of it's pretty solid. There's a couple squishy parts on the grass, but overall pretty good. The woods is excellent, perfectly clear, nice wide. It's hard packed, so you're flying in there.
Yeah, this is just a great course. It really is. It's been the site for the state meet in Rhode Island for the last 20 years, and I don't think it's ever going to change.
Yeah. No, and I mean, they definitely do a phenomenal job here to put on a great meet as well.
So we still got some finishers here, but it looks like we're coming close to wrapping this up.
Good job.
Yeah, we've definitely had the majority past us. But just a good day. Good day, a great weekend for it, you know.
Absolutely.
It's nice when you can get 5 of the 6 New England states together and put on a great performance. And again, a great performance individually on both sides, you know. Ruth White and this side of things just absolutely crushed it with the win all alone. Phenomenal job by her. Great looking race.
And I believe she's going on to, I'm not sure, I think it's East Bay, I think she's running.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what she was doing. And it's definitely always good to see, you know, those athletes continuing on and looking for them a little bit later on in the season as well. These girls working hard, finishing up.
And like you said, most of them ending their season today, and a great way to end it is running a meet like this under, you know, great conditions. Got music blaring over here and a good crowd.
It's a great atmosphere, and you know, you have to work hard to get here. It's not an easy way to get into New England. You know, you got to qualify through your state to do so. So it's the best of the best of each state coming here for this, and it's just a really great celebration of the sport. And you know, one thing you consider too is there's a lot of seniors. You know, especially those, you know, 4th place, 5th place, 6th, 7th on your team, that this could be their last race ever for cross country. You never know what college has in store for them, but it's a really great event to kind of cap off a season and a year for a lot of these girls, and they should be pretty happy with it.
And you know what? No matter how they finish today, you know, they all should be proud that they made it here.
Absolutely. Really, and you know, it definitely takes a lot for these athletes to make it. So obviously, huge shout out to the athletes, but also the coaches, the parents, the family, the friends, the spectators, everyone cheering them on. You know, across all the states in New England doing that, putting in the work to do it. Same thing can be said with the officials and all the timing crews. You know, it takes a lot of work for an entire cross-country season, and it takes a lot of work for, you know, to put on a meet like this. And they really have done a great job here. Meet director Keith Watson, he did a phenomenal job. Site director David Glassberg, I believe he's coach here as well.
Yes.
They just from everything, you know, to use the proverbial gun to tape, they did everything that needed to be done here to make a great venue, great event. And you know, with that, looks like we've got things pretty much wrapped up, so we'll close things out. Once again, this is New Hampshire Cross Country on behalf of the State Running Network. Got a few others in house today, so love to have that. This has been your 2022 New England Championship Girls Race.